I'd like to call the meeting to order. Are there any questions or comments from the floor?
Yes. Carolyn?
Yes, just me, Caroline Hammonds. I'm kind of here more as a community member, but I can help facilitate it if it's something we can work towards as a district employee. As I head into my older and getting closer to retirement, I'm looking for things to participate in the community. And I would like to see if we could get the 3 closest tennis courts, which currently don't have the nets up. I don't know if they're damaged or haven't been replaced or just haven't been put up into pickleball courts. I think the community, the closest one that I know of is Darling Field over in Johnstown, Gloversville area. They are putting in new ones starting, I think, in September in Amsterdam, but that's about the closest we have, and all ages can play. We used to have water aerobics, which I attended younger, which the elderly community could do. I could go to the fitness center. I watched some of those. I'm not up there yet, and that's something that I'll have to look into. Just pickleball is something that I quickly picked up, and all ages can play it. You can put anywhere between 2 to 4, so we could have actually, if you did 3 portable ones, you could, on those 3 courts, you could get anywhere between 6 and 12 courts on there. Could be used as a fundraiser. I haven't surveyed the community to say, is this something they'd be interested in? I don't know if that's part of what is going on down in the downtown as by the waterfront, if they're looking to put in anything in there, but I came up and just was looking it over and thought it might be something fairly inexpensive. Nets can go anywhere from, $60, $80 to $300. But, that's just something fairly inexpensive that all family members could participate in. So I don't know if it can be something that we can implement or we have to budget for, but I'm interested in pursuing that. And if there's something we need to do to survey, I'd be more than willing to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, what I would just suggest is that if you can just do some research on what the nets would cost, and
Okay.
if you could look into community interest, and then Nick and I would be glad to have a meeting with you to discuss possibly moving forward with something like that.
Okay.
And just to let you know, the building project coming up that was supposed to start this summer
Okay.
was putting pickleball courts back in the middle school.
Okay.
Middle school. And then we have the tennis club coming up, so we got to see how many people would be involved in the tennis club, see how many courts we have.
Right, or it's just different lines, and then so the hours would have to change when we had tennis, and it could be going into summer, late fall, into spring through summer, that kind of time period.
Okay, well, like I said, we'd be glad to meet with you and discuss it further once you have some more information to share with us.
Sounds great, thanks.
Is that it for
Yep.
comments? Okay, thank you. Next is the presentations, and the first is by our energy manager.
Oh, let's see if this works. Is this gonna work great?
It's coming.
Is it?
Yep.
You sure?
There you go.
You're up.
Is it up?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. So, most of you know me, I guess, or maybe everyone. I'm Frankie Ambrosio. I'm the energy manager for the district, and this is the second quarter energy management report. So at this point, we are executing the energy master plan, and I'm going to cover progress on energy use, conservation, and efficiency, also known as corrective actions, basically what we've been doing. Alternative and decarbonization projects that are in the works, fuel conversion update, funding acquisition, and the energy curriculum for last school year. So first we have energy use. Between last year and this year, this is just cost. We are at $2,200 less this year than we were last year at this time, even though we had a $4,900 price increase in cost. So if you add those together, it would be $7,000, right? $7,100 actually in savings.
How much did we spend in total for energy last year?
That number I don't have in total. It's about 252, 253, something like that total. Yeah. So, but we're only halfway through. This is just through June. So, as you can see, the red is 2022 and the blue is 2023. The little green is the savings. We're actually in the green this year compared to last year. Same years for the red and blue on the line graph, and we crossed over, which was the price increase, but we're still paying less than we did last year.
Do you have any sense of what it is that's saving us?
Yeah, there's some of it has to do with heating degree days and cooling degree days. The milder winter and not quite as hot into the spring, so that has to do with it. The corrective actions that have been done, there's been a lot of equipment scheduling adjustments. Which in the next charts I'll show you kind of evens out, gets rid of some of these peaks at high demand, and they cost much more than nighttime use. The daytime peaks for air conditioning, whatever, is really a cost driver. So this is the consumption comparison. Again, the red is last year and the blue is this year, and we have a reduction of 14,000 kilowatts in electricity, which is the first graph, and 15,000 therms in natural gas usage between last year and this year, less. And as I mentioned, it's the demand spikes really that, you see the electricity is more of an even line. It's not so up and down as it was last year on the first graph. And this is basically the amount of energy that's used per square foot on the building. So the top dials are where we were last year, and the bottom dials are where we are this year. So there's about a 5-unit savings per square foot per building. They're all about the same increment of 5 down this year than they were last year. It's obvious, as in the last quarter report, that East Hill is still, which is the middle dial, is still the main area of focus. It's the oldest building and requires the most. But everything else is getting in the green. The bus garage is now in the green. The high school has always been in the green, and East Hill is getting closer to the green. So hopefully by the end of the year we can be all green. So the green indicates the average use across the country for similar buildings. So that's where we want to be, at least as an initial target. Anything below that is good for everybody. Next is conservation. So we've got plug load controllers that were issued to us during the last energy performance contract, so it was no cost. But what had happened is classroom changes, technology changes, and these units were screwed into the wall. So when a smart board or a Promethean board got moved because of a different teacher to a different wall, the plug stayed where it was and the board went somewhere else. So I've taken the time, I've done about 80 of these, and it should produce about a $1,500 savings annually for the district. Computer power management, initially it was 400 units between laptops and PCs. Again, there's been a major change, a lot less PCs, some more laptops, and now everyone's on Chromebooks. So it no longer falls into the equation. They all run on battery. It's not necessary, they're basically charging at home. So for the students, so it's not so much our thing anymore. So hopefully we'll still be able to realize that savings because we have less PC equipment here, which draws more power than a laptop. The redundant appliances I touched on last year, that basically boils down to, there are 100.
I'm sorry, could you explain what that plug difference is, because it doesn't, I don't
The
understand.
plug load controllers?
Yeah,
Okay, so what happens is that device will turn off a Promethean board or a smart board or a computer or a copier, whatever you have it connected to. I have it programmed to turn it off. It runs from 7 in the morning till 5 at night. After that, it completely removes the power from the device. So I won't be walking around and seeing Promethean boards on the weekends. They're not on at 6 o'clock. You know, they just get left on sometimes. You know, it happens. So what that device does is it eliminates that. And if they need to come in on the weekend, there's an override button. They push it on the top, it'll turn on, and then Sunday it'll go to the next cycle and turn right back off again.
So it's not dormant, it actually shuts it off.
It totally removes all the power. It's not dormant. No, it totally removes everything. The redundant appliances, there are about 150 mini fridges, microwaves, coffee pots, and toasters in the district. So what I'm doing right now is I'm contacting the other districts within Montgomery County to find out their policy on what they're doing about this. I've gotten in touch with 2 of them. One has eliminated all appliances. The other one decided that the union was too strong and it was too much of a fight to try to remove the appliances. Now, we may wind up in that situation here as well. You know, it may not be worth the fight to save the money. So if we do allow them, there's going to have to be some conservation practices, right? If they're not, the mini fridges have to stay plugged in all the time because it's a refrigerator. But the coffee pot, the microwave, the toaster, you're just going to have to unplug it when they're not using it. So it's not running the clock, it's not running the light bulb, it's not running the heater, and the coffee pot's not burning for hours. And the mini fridges are going to have to take the initiative to, at the end of the school year, turn them off, defrost them, empty them, and unplug them. We don't need them running all summer. So even though we run them, you know, we still could see a savings if we don't remove them. So, and when I get more information about the other districts, you know, I'll relay that to Dr. Nick, and we'll go from there. So next is efficiency. We have replacement of missing ceiling tiles. This room was one. There was probably 6 or 7 tiles missing in here at the last board meeting, but now they've all been replaced. So what happens is, during the calculation for HVAC, the space above the ceiling is not calculated in. So it's really a loss. We had an equivalent of about 7 doorways worth of ceiling tiles open to unconditioned spaces. So we've closed the majority of those up. It also is an indoor air quality issue because there's not clean up there. Nobody cleans it. It's not meant to be clean. So contaminants can enter the learning environment. So close that off. That's all good. Removal of obsolete devices. We've had a progression from the smart projectors to smart boards to Promethean boards. So I went through and took out, there was 25 projectors that teachers were willing to give up. I think there's 2 or 3 left in the district. They have them because they don't have a smart or Promethean board and they still use the projectors, mainly the art class, which I understand. So we left those in place. And we also took out the old overhead projector screens. Now, there's no electricity associated with that, but the learning environment is much neater, it's much cleaner now. They've patched all the holes in the walls. It just looks like a better classroom. So I'm happy with that. I know that doesn't save energy, but I like it. I thought it had to be done. Developing routine maintenance for a list of equipment and procedures to create a periodic maintenance program so that all of these things get done, the filters get changed on a regular basis, things get done efficiently. It's just going to help us save some energy down the road. So I conduct in-person and hands-on training with maintenance personnel and focus on them knowing the job, being prepared for the job, and completing the job. So they're not walking back, wasting hours, getting a tool for this or getting a supply for that, you know, just getting it done. So it's a complete program to help save money in both energy and staff time, hours, you know, labor hours. And we're transitioning from reactive to preventative maintenance. At this point, we've basically been at a reactive maintenance schedule. Something breaks, we go and fix it. So we really need to be on a preventative schedule. And statistically, preventative maintenance is much less expensive than reactive maintenance. So if we can keep it from breaking and extend the life of a heating unit or something, it's gonna help out all the way around. The first part of this is for Mr. Baker. At the last meeting, you mentioned wind turbines. I discovered a ducted wind turbine. It has a few major benefits. Because it's ducted, it accelerates the airflow across the propeller blades. So it produces 50% more power than an open rotor turbine, which would be one with no duct around it. So what happens is that duct is shaped like an airplane wing. It creates lift. It accelerates the wind inside towards the rotor blades and spins them twice as fast. So the power is a benefit. The size, this one here is about 30 feet tall, so it's not very big. I've seen other ones that are actually about 10 feet tall, and they're on rooftops of schools and other buildings. So the size is a big thing. You know, we don't want a 200-foot unit. So something like this could possibly go on the hill behind the soccer fields up there.
A lot of wind.
We were going to, right, and it's, you know, it's going to accelerate going uphill as it is. So I'll be looking into this, and an added bonus on this is installation. So these units, there's a concrete footer and there's a connection on that footer. They pin this unit to the footer and they crank it up with a hydraulic piston. So there's no crane, and cranes are very expensive. So you have to have the rope for the crane, the pad, you have to have all this site work done just to get a crane there. Especially on a hill, that's a big deal. So this could be a very viable option, and I will continue to look into it. The geothermal project, as of now, there's a 15% cost increase from our last attempt at trying to get funding. So the sooner the better we try to get this done, you know, to save the overall cost of the project. The solar, we've conducted the preliminary study through National Grid. It's called a Caesar study. We failed on step C, so what that means is that we need to continue to go to a full Caesar study. That study has a cost associated with it.
I'm sorry, it's a full what study?
Full Caesar. It's a CESIR study. And I don't have the acronym with me, but I can share it at some point if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay. So there's about, I'm going to say it's about, the preliminary study was about $2,000, and the contractor paid that out of their pocket as a good faith to see if this project was worth continuing. I've also spoke with them, and the second part of the project, the study is about $6,000, so it's a total of about $8,000. Spoke with them, and they've agreed to pay for the second part of the study. Out of their budget, out of their thing, whether it flies or not, they're going to incur the cost, so it's no cost to the district.
As long as we agree to stay with them.
Right, so it only
Which we already
required,
have.
it
Johnson
only,
controls.
yeah,
That's
it
the
only-
Johnson Controls.
That's Johnson Controls. It only requires an agreement that if we get the green light from National Grid, that we intend on proceeding with this project. So, which, you know, we have to, right?
Yeah.
So it's an 84% offset that I covered in the last meeting, which is huge. I mean, that's big. We can't go bigger because SED will only allow us a certain percentage of consumption. You know, we can't produce more than we actually use to get extra credits, so.
Any sense of how long this process might take before you hear an answer?
I'm gonna say we're probably looking at 6 weeks to get an answer. So,
That's 6 years.
yeah. So I know it's been going on for a long time, but, you know, unlike the last time, we're going about this from the front end, not from the back end. And it's not gonna cost us, not that it cost us anything last time, but there's no embarrassment, there's no, you know, anything.
There's a lot of anguish.
Yeah, I'm sure, right? I mean, who wants to feel all that hope and then get dashed, you know? I agree. So what's going on right now with the solar is that there's other projects, very large projects, like 4 megawatt, 5, 10 megawatt projects in front of us in queue with National Grid. What happens is these companies they sit in New York City, they're looking at Google Maps, they're trying to find farmland, right, that's suitable to do this. And then they put in for the Caesar study because they have the money to do it. And it clogs up the pipeline for people like us. So what's going to happen is they're going to exceed the capacity of the grid. Historically, all of these large projects have dropped out. So once they drop out, that will open that capacity for us. So we're banking on that someone drops out. Johnson Controls is banking on someone dropping out, and Solar Liberty. And they all are very optimistic about someone getting out. So above and beyond that is that none of these companies are privy to the moratorium that's in this town. And the last submission is in the town of Canajoharie for 4 megawatts, which will not fly. So if they get wind of that, maybe they'll drop out, and that'll give us the opportunity to swoop in as next in line and take care of it. So
You said in the town or village?
I believe it said town, but I can
Because there's
verify.
currently someone looking. I got a letter in my house. I live in the village.
That could be it, yeah, I don't know,
And I spoke to the engineer or whatever.
yeah.
And
This one is out of New York City.
okay. Historically, they don't look at anything other than 20 acres. Is that true? Or there's some
Yeah, I'm not
size.
sure about the size.
I think 20 was the
yeah.
cutoff where they wouldn't even,
Yeah,
but they're looking at it in, I believe, in the village.
yeah, okay.
Because that's what the letter I got said.
Well, I spoke with the town planning board representative and, went over the law and everything. So, we're in and they're willing to work with us to get us any variances and things like that to take care of our project, our size.
Okay.
I guess technically we probably wouldn't have to because we're the school, am I correct? We can really do whatever we want, but, I don't want to cross that bridge. We'd rather, work with everyone and get it done, so. Next is fleet conversion. So we're at the point of finding out what the true cost of this is going to be, right? So we are a high needs district, so we qualify for 100% funding through NYSERDA, which is good. The study, which I've been in contact with the firm, is about $52,000. And so where we're at is that the development, I've got an understanding of the buses, the routes, the charging, the infrastructure, and the funding. So knowing all of that, I can look at whatever they provide and edit that. I'm not going in green at this point. I'll know what they're gonna provide back to us. So they're gonna provide us a true cost, and it's gonna include everything from tires. It's been discovered that the tires on electric buses wear out much quicker than they do on standard buses, right? And nobody's thinking of this. So what happens is you've got, do you want me to explain how that happens? Or?
Sure.
Okay, so you've got a much higher torque on an electric bus, right? You hear that the Tesla accelerates like a rocket, right? Well, it's the same situation for the bus. So that acceleration peels rubber off of the tire. It's just like hitting the gas pedal, but not only that, you have regenerative braking. So when you let off the gas and you slow down the bus, you're applying that same resistance against the tire again. So you're wearing the tire almost twice as fast as you would on a standard bus. So you can imagine 6 buses, each tire, or 6 tires per bus, each tire's a few $100s per bus. At 17 buses, this could get expensive. So I want costs like that. What is the maintenance cost gonna be? What are additional tools and equipment that's required for our maintenance personnel to look at these, to work on these buses? What's that gonna cost? Is there a $5,000 software program that we need in order to determine what's wrong with the bus? All of these things need to be found out. In conjunction with that is the full plan. So this will be a phased plan. It may start with 3 buses in the first year, 3 buses in the next year, because that's our lease rotation, right? But at phase 5, we may require like a 10-inch conduit to provide charging for all these buses. In phase 1, we might only need a 4-inch conduit. Well, I don't want to put a 4-inch conduit in at phase 1 and get to phase 5 and dig that back up and put a 10-inch conduit in. We're going to do it right the first time, put a 10-inch in right from the go. So we'll know all of that information, and we'll have a really sound foundation to make a plan on how to move forward and take care of this mandate.
From your discussions and all and research, do you think it's realistic that this is going to be implemented, given the cost of the electric buses?
No, it's totally unfeasible. It's totally an unsustainable situation. No one has thought about the long term. No one has thought about, first of all, the buses are 3-4 times a standard bus. Second of all, in 8 years, when it comes time for a new bus, and this grant money's not there, and the next administration doesn't pump out $30 billion, how are we gonna afford these buses? You know, the price may go down, but even if it goes down a third, that's still 3 times what we're paying now. So, in my opinion, no. You know, there's something to be said for sticking your head in the sand and just taking, you know, if there is a fine or a fee, if you don't meet the mandate or some extension, try to do that, but, you know, it's just,
700 districts are in the same boat.
it's just not.
And,
No one's thought it through. It's a great idea. I totally promote it. I totally am on board with making a movement, but making it a mandate and trying to force a district like us we are not the focus of this, right? We don't have 100 buses. We don't have a huge air pollution problem. We don't run 2009 buses with rolling black smoke out the exhaust. We don't do that. We run the most up-to-date buses you can get, you know, with our lease turnover program. So it's just totally not geared towards us at all, which is unfortunate. So, but we'll
the
see.
reimbursement rate from New York State would be $2 to $3 billion a year that they have to come up with this for reimbursement of transportation. So, there's,
Okay. I just wanted to see where we're really at.
Yeah, and I've made multiple investigations on trying to just acquire, let's say we just acquire a couple buses, just to get our feet wet, right? Do an understanding. But none of the funding opportunities will allow you to increase your fleet size, right? We have to sacrifice a bus. But if there's a problem, we run the minimal amount of buses. We can't afford to be down a bus, right? We use every bus every day. So not being able to increase your fleet and just get a couple grant-funded buses and not even worry about the reimbursement. Just have them so we can get used to them, and then in 5 years, sell them and use that money to put into the reserve to buy a new bus. But we don't even have that option, right? And the New York program, you have to scrap 2009 older buses. So that means we have to go buy an old bus from Middletown or something, right? Haul it to Avon, to have it dismantled and scrapped and pay all of those costs just to get the $200,000 towards a $400,000 bus. It's just bad. So
Is there any way to share with like Fort Plain or something,
So
just
I
as
did
an
that.
emergency sort of?
I just approached the last funding round, which is the EPA Clean School Bus, and it's a minimum of 15 bus order. And I didn't want to do that because that's all of our buses, right? I don't want to do we're totally not ready. We don't have the infrastructure, the transformers can't handle it. So I approached the bus retailer. They tried to they have to service at least 4 districts and order at least 15 buses. I tried to but none of the other districts would jump on board. So I did approach that method to try to do it, yep. So now the next round of EPA, this was a grant, the next round of EPA is basically a lottery, it's a rebate program. It's like the first round was where, was it Batavia? Who got the buses?
that's quite a few of them.
Well,
Bethlehem.
That's right.
So that's how they got
Adirondack,
their
Bethlehem.
buses. Yeah, so they basically, and you all put your name in, they grab out of a hat, they pull your name, you get some buses, right? So that's the next round, and that's, I'll try again. I'll just keep trying to see what I can make work and try to get, I'd like to start off with a couple buses at no cost to us, right? Just to understand what we're dealing with. Our drivers and everybody does 2 jobs, right? They drive, they come and work in the kitchen. They drive, they're a mechanic. They drive, they're a custodian, right? So anytime we send these people out for training to learn about these buses and things, is time they're not doing their job. So, which costs us. We either gotta have a sub or someone else has to pick up the load. So there's a cost that no one's thought about this thing. So if we could have a couple buses on hand, learn them, train on them, whenever we do have free time, then we can get ahead of the game in that fashion. That's
If
the
there's
ultimate.
funding out there to extend our fleet. If not,
Right.
we're getting 2 buses that we're not getting aid on.
Right,
So that'll eventually eat you up later because we're expecting that aid every year, right?
right.
So
Even if we got half the
major
cost.
catch-22, what's that?
Even if we got half, only had to pay half the bus, we're only gonna get 8 on half the bus. We're not gonna get 8 on the full thing, you know? So when it comes time for a new one, we gotta come up with the rest. It's just, yeah, exactly. It's very frustrating. And it's been a hurdle, it's been a hassle, but, you know, I just keep plugging away and try to find, try to find ways to get it done. But I'm not successful yet. So next we have some funding acquisition. I've partnered with the Mohawk tribe out in Nelliston to try to get this prize. This is a $400,000 prize, and it's basically unrestricted funds for initiative capacity building. So it would be split between the Mohawk community and us, so there's no agreement. The checks would come separately. I put in for this for us to increase our grant writing capacity, maybe hire a grant writer, some stipends for staff to do extra load to try to do some funding acquisition, for marketing and advertising to try to promote all these energy advancements within the community, to try to get the whole area involved in solar or wind or whatever it may be. See, I don't have any slush fund for what I do, right? So I have to try to either generate the money or try to get it done for free, you know. So this is an attempt to try to create a little bit of funds to try to move this initiative ahead.
Where is this funding coming from?
This funding is Department of Energy, and it's this is the same American-made challenges. This is the same funding source that I received to extend the energy manager position. It's the same agency. So, but it's all funded by the Department of Energy, and this is a different funding pot. It's not related to the class prize, which was the last one. Next is the energy improvements at rural and remote areas. Again, this is Department of Energy. This is a no-cost share fixed award grant program. So this is, I've already filled out the pre-applications and sent them in, and waiting to hear if we get invited for a full application. So I put in for $4.7 million for the geothermal project at middle school, which includes the 15% increase. And I put in for $4.3 million for the solar, which included the infrastructure national grid side upgrades that kicked us out on the first thing. Now, since then, after writing this, I've discovered that those upgrades may have been done, which is allowing us the capacity to try to get in if one of these other companies drops out. So the grid should be able to handle us, right? So they've made the big, it's called a 3VO transformer. They've made that big upgrade, National Grid has. So we wouldn't need all of that. So if they invite us, I can obviously reduce that amount quite a bit, which would obviously make that proposal much more appealing to them.
And the proposal is for 100% of our energy need, the size of the solar project?
The 84%.
84%.
It's still, I use the same project to try to get it funded without doing it as an energy performance contract, which is our current avenue of attainment. So if we could get it totally for free without any money out of pocket, that obviously helps, you know, the budget quite a bit, right? No increase to the taxpayers, at least energy related wise. So that was the goal, and we'll see. It's due. The full application is due in October. So I check daily to see if there's been a decision, if we're going to get invited. But there's been no decision yet. I hope it's soon because I'll need time to prepare a full grant proposal. It's a big process. Next is the energy curriculum. So I submitted to our NYSERDA rep first 2 lessons that went on last year. And internally, he said he had positive feedback from his team within NYSERDA. So that's good to know that they like what we did as far as the curriculum goes. The second middle school lesson was on energy efficient lighting and savings, and the second high school lesson was on planning and designing a solar system, solar photovoltaic system. So at the elementary school, the students first they observed the difference between an incandescent light bulb and an LED light bulb, and they monitored the energy difference. And then we counted all the lights in the middle school, and they calculated how much the middle school saves every school year. So $5,000 they came up with, which is pretty accurate. It's about 53, but just on the interior, just during school day, school hours, you know. So that was good. They got through that. It was nice to see them come up with a number. Their eyes got big when they saw the 5. They're like, oh my God, you know. So I'm hoping they bring that home. That's the objective, is to bring this idea home that they can just change light bulbs at home and make a difference. At the high school, for the high schoolers, we looked at, they had them calculate how much energy they need at their house, electrical energy, and then they sized the system. They decided how many panels it would take to produce enough electricity to cover their home, and how many square foot of area that would take. And then they took Google Maps. They each one looked at their own house. Some of them got a little astray and went off in the neighborhood and looked at other houses. But and they decided, you know, where would they put it? Would they put it in their backyard? Would they put it on the roof? They wanted to make sure there was no shadowing from trees, you know, and things like that. So that went well too. So they all at the end of the class, they started asking a lot of questions about it, which was good. So.
Did you get any feedback that any of their families went ahead and contracted to put in solar?
I did not, although one of the students is not on the grid at all, and he totally is on solar, and he has storage, and that's how they roll, that's how they run. They don't have anything. So, but no one has come back to me after that. So we'll see. And then next year we'll start a new curriculum, and because this was at the end of the year, so I just tried to fit in some pertinent information. So we'll start from the beginning next year. I'll meet with Jen, and we'll try to come up with a plan and the principles for the schools, and see which direction to go, where to start to make a full thing. So I don't know what's going to happen at middle school. Chris, did you get? Are you in the process of getting? Are we going to have a tech department or?
Sure.
Okay.
We have some interviews on Monday,
So, you know, that was kind of on hold on any progress on that because I don't know if they were going to go computer-based or something else. So we'll see how that goes. The high school, well, the middle school also, it's a 10-week curriculum. The last tech class was. So it's basically a short course, you know, and it just gets repeated. The high school, I was talking to Mr. Harith, and I think we're going to start with wind, but I'll run that by Jen and everybody, and start maybe with a field trip. There's a local wind farm that has an educational component to it. Start there, and then maybe delve into that and see where that goes.
So, one of the things that I always, when I talk to people about solar, because we have solar in my house.
Yes.
And what I tell people is that it's one of these things where you can just ask a company to give you a proposal
Right.
for your house.
Right.
And it doesn't cost anything. It
Right.
takes about 10 minutes of your time, and there's no requirement. You know, there's no obligation or anything else.
Right.
You could say, okay, you know, come out and check it out more carefully and give me a concrete proposal. Because I'll do it just with Google Maps or whatever. Or you could just say, no, I'm not interested. And they'll give you all the different options. Buy it, rent it, lease it,
Right.
you know. And so I think that, you know, that's something we should share with people as
Yeah,
well,
well, that-
to increase the amount of solar in our community.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
I feel like a preacher on this.
No, I totally agree, and that was the initial funding with the American Made Challenge. That's what that money was for. That's what I tried to, you know, to try to spread this knowledge. Maybe at one of these events, we have a few of these vendors come in and have a booth if that's, you know, allowed, and let the parents who come with the kids look into this, or at least know about it, you know. I know when I go to Lowe's, I see that, but we don't have a Lowe's in town, you know, so that doesn't happen, so.
So I think that would be great,
Yeah,
you know, just
yeah,
to give the people know what the option is.
Spread the
if they
word,
wanna-
right,
If they want to
absolutely.
pursue it.
Yep, I agree. So, and that wraps it up for me, so it's 30 minutes less than last time.
All right, well, thank you. Any questions or
Yeah,
comments?
anything else I'm glad to answer. Is there any information that someone would like above and beyond later on, like numbers? Did you want a specific number or what the Caesar study stands for, or?
I looked it up for him.
You did? Okay, good. All right, can you refresh me?
Coordinated Electric System Interconnection Review.
There you go. Thank you.
Interconnection review. Oh, got it.
Yeah, CES.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
And keep up the good work.
All right, thanks. Is it okay to go, or?
Yeah?
Go ahead.
No, you have to stay now. Let us, all 40 minutes here. You're gonna have to
So you're free to go.
All right, thank you so
No, he
much.
works for me. He can stay. Wait a second, I work for you.
Okay, I can go, right? All right, have a great night.
Okay, thank you. So next on the agenda is the superintendent update.
Yes, summer school just finished today, everything. So we have the high school finished, the middle school, and we had our Summer Stars program, which was very, again, great job, very successful. We had 90 campers in for summer camps. So we ran our summer camps again. We had about 50 kids in the play. It's a lot of little dogs in the play for Frozen and 101 Dalmatians. They did a really nice job. I wasn't sure that was going to go off. I thought it was going to be a combination of the two at once, but they did them separate, so it was a nice job as well. You know, it's a little bit tough in the summer. They have limited time, that type of stuff, but they did a real nice job. And talking about these numbers, it's just so nice to see hundreds of our kids involved in something over the summer, and our fitness centers going as well. The maintenance is getting through our buildings right now, as you've seen as you're walking through. And they're moving at a great pace as well, so everything looks good at this point to finish everything for the school year. They always do, and anyway, for the most part. I got invited again, just to give you a heads up. Remember I went to Denver last year for this summit. They invited me again to come out and pay for everything. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see 40 school districts from around the country again to see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And some of the focus is on classroom outlays and furniture and what districts are doing, so kind of excited about that, plus some safety stuff, and obviously instructional methods as well. So, and last thing, we've had 2 internships set up for our residents, and we'll have a meeting after next week to kind of plan everything out for the rest of the year. So that's moving in a good pace as well. And that's it.
Any questions? Okay, next thing on the agenda is a report back on the NISBA Leadership in Education Conference, which was attended by Lori and I. First, I'd just like to kind of give an overview. The emphasis in the whole meeting was really on student and staff wellness. I would say if there was a theme going on, that was it. And I'll just read to you quickly the headlines of the different sessions so you get a sense of that. So it was recruiting and retaining teachers, closing the COVID learning gap, addressing well-being of our students, the growing impact of substance abuse, raising resilient youth, promoting educator well-being, school discipline reform, schools where all students belong, and elevating student voices. So you can see there was really a wellness kind of theme throughout this whole thing.
And a theme behind all the stuff that we're doing in our district.
Yes.
Everyone you read, I was like, okay, star, okay, this, okay. Yeah.
It started with a panel from the New York State Education Department, which included Commissioner Betty Rosa, plus about 4 or 5 other members of the State Education Department leadership. They emphasized the identifying misinformation and the importance of student voices. They also emphasized a shift to service-oriented approach to working with students. That would include guidance that supports their work, emphasizing improvement, not winners and losers, emphasis on support that helps. And they said, for example, suspensions don't help. And they definitely are in support of restorative practices. And they look for underlying reasons for behavior rather than just punishing. And it was a very positive kind of presentation by the State Education Department, and I think everyone appreciated that. I'm going to give some summaries, some of the other ones, but before I do that, I'm going to turn it over to Lori, who attended how our district's working to recruit and retain staff, getting creative to address the problem. So Lori attended that, and if you want to just say a few words about that.
They had some very interesting suggestions. Again, certain things it was nice to kind of check off to see that, yeah, our district does this, but also some other creative ideas. The session featured two speakers, and the first one primarily was speaking about recruitment of teachers, principals, and superintendents of minorities, especially in primarily white districts, and what a small percentage of minority administration and leadership there is in primarily white student population districts. So she just talked a little bit about recruiting materials and going into some more urban areas to look maybe for recruitment where we haven't before. But the second speaker, he spoke, he's a BOCES labor relations employee. He had an interesting perspective about things that could be added to instructional contracts or working within the contract to do some things that could help make a district more attractive to potential teachers particularly, but employees in general over others. And some of the things that came up were offering daycare on site, school districts partnering with a daycare provider and providing them space to be able to have that right in the building, offering retirees a higher daily rate to substitute teach, pressuring the state to expand reciprocity of teacher certifications. Of course, we know smaller class sizes tend to attract more candidates. Talked a little bit about some mini sabbaticals. There are some districts out there that are getting really creative with affordable housing. Taking a building, for instance, if you were OSJ and you had a D.H. Robbins building on your hands and you're not doing anything with it, that there are actually districts converting that into affordable housing and offering it to their employees at a reasonable rental access point.
Somebody must be doing that, because districts can't do that.
Yeah, somehow, I mean, in some sort of partnership
Right.
of getting that done. Talk just a little bit about also keeping in mind the age and the generational differences between the new employees and what is of interest to them, keeping in mind of flexibility of time, providing perks to those who use alternative forms of transportation. There are districts putting in EV charging stations, high quality bike racks, e-bike stations, things that might attract some of these employees that are using different ways to get to work than they used to. They spoke about professional development half days, teachers having a real appreciation for being able to reach their professional development requirements and goals within the school day, within the district, as opposed to having to go out on their own and try to get all their professional development met, which of course something we do. And the last one I really took note of, and I'm sure we do something along this lines, but this seemed like a little bit more formal program, making a partnership with a local college, like we were just speaking of St. Rose with the art programs. In this partnership, students in the teacher education program would get a couple of benefits. One, they would automatically, of course, do a student teaching assignment in Canajoharie District. They would be given the opportunity to register and interview to substitute for the district, like through the career office at their college without having to go up to HFM or whatever, get automatically signed up to sub during their breaks. And they would receive an automatic interview at the time that they graduate. So just kind of formal arrangements with some of these colleges to really try to funnel those students who are graduating to come here first, maybe, before they look around some other place.
They used to have programs where you get a voucher when I started. And so if a teacher took a student teacher, you get a 3-credit voucher at whatever school. And then they might give it to a young teacher that needed it or sell them for a few dollars. But it was a way to knock off a lot of classes. And it was a win-win for everybody. So that was something that would be nice if they even revisit, especially with the cost of classes now. I mean, it really helps. So.
But yeah, the biggest chuckle in the room came though when he spoke about the school districts. There's been a grant out there to put in electric vehicle charging stations at no cost in the district. And there's a district here in the Capital District that went out, got an EV charging station, put it out there to their staff. You can come charge your vehicle during the day at no cost. And then they immediately ran into a union complaint about all the people who don't have an electric car and are they going to get gas money compensation?
Somehow now that you say that.
So, just kind of one of those, sometimes you can never win. But they were doing some out of the box thinking. So yeah, some great information and very positive, like Mark
Yeah,
said.
that's good ideas.
You know
Positive.
who the speakers were?
I have it written down.
Okay.
Yep,
Send
not
me
on
a
here,
copy.
but yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
It's all in here.
Yeah.
in the packet, but yes.
I have it.
They were both very good.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna briefly talk about a few of the other sessions that I attended. And they were quite helpful and interesting. And the first one I attended, other than the general session, which was from the State Education Department, as I said earlier, was on artificial intelligence. And it was for me, very overwhelming, because I'm an ignoramus when it comes to artificial. My phone system doesn't even accept ChatGPT on it yet. I can't upgrade it to get ChatGPT. But it was really, quite amazing. And some of the things that went on there, it just blew my mind, which I'm sure a lot of people really know all about AI and would not be. But for instance, he gave one example. He said, tell me a story about the founding of New York State in the style of Dr. Seuss. And I said, what? And bingo, this thing comes up, and I'll just read you a couple of sentences. In the days of yore, back in 1604, when the world was large and known land was poor, there came a man by the name of Henry Hudson, so brave, who sailed his ship on vast seas wave. He was English born, but for the Dutch he sailed, searching for the East, where many had failed. On the good ship called the Half Moon, stout and firm, through storms and winds that would make most squirm. I'm just, this is like, boom, and it's there, and it just really is quite astounding, the extent of things that they could do. And I have the PowerPoint for this presentation. It was very positive, and it really talked about the need for districts to really get on board with this and begin to deal with it, because it's not going away. And I was really concerned that we're kind of be way behind, until I talked to Dr. Fitzgerald and found out that we are already exploring the need to make it a positive and constructive addition to our education rather than a detriment. And one of the things I just wanted to share with you is there is a link that I will share with everyone with PowerPoint presentation for each of the presentations, both the ones that we attended and did not attend. And there's a tremendous amount of really interesting and helpful information in all of these, which I would like to encourage people to look at. I think you'll find it quite interesting, would be my suggestion. And there were actually 250 attendees to this conference, and it was quite an impressive thing. Then there was, I went to the one on the well-being of students, and that was a general session where, they had somewhere you had to choose between several, and this was one, a general session, where they talked about 44% of students suffering from depression at some time or other, and 20% having considered suicide. And they emphasized things like connectedness and being proactive and not waiting for problems, but trying to interact with students. And one of the things they talked about was conducting student climate surveys, and the results of which should be shown to the community, was what they suggested, and to do that on a yearly basis to see how things are going in the school community. And one of the points they made is that the community looks at what actions we take, not what we speak. So that was interesting. And then the one on resilient youth talked about mindfulness and meditation as tools for social emotional learning. And it was amazing, and I just want to share something with you from that one, which will just take me a second. Well, maybe more than a second, a few seconds, but come on. Oh, here it is, sorry. Resilient youth. Oh, here it is. First of all, it started with a quote that I love, talking about mindfulness and meditation. And the quote at the beginning of the presentation was, quote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." And that was from Blaise Pascal, 1623 to 1664. So that was before cell phones. But anyhow, it was an interesting discussion, and they talked about a number of different things that, including multi-district programs around race, equity, mental health and wellness, initiatives that students come up with and lead, and, that's elevating student voices, another one. And I just wanted to go to one page here where the mindfulness and meditation results that they had. This was in an urban middle school after they had been involved with this for a year. And what they found was, which is, mind-blowing to me, 84% reduction in suspensions, 89% reduction in fighting, 20% gain in test scores, 1,000% gain in graduates being admitted to selective high schools, graduates of middle school, 100% reduction of teacher quitting, and children noticeably happier and kinder. And this is in a school that implemented mindfulness and meditation practices. So, I think it's something that, again, I would highly encourage people to go through the PowerPoint and see the kinds of issues and things that they stress and have learned from that. And finally, I went to the one on elevating student voices, which I was very impressed that it not only talked about elevating student voices, but had 2 students as presenters. So I said, okay, now maybe they're serious, And anyhow, so they talked about using the kind of as a template the State Education Department position on culturally responsive, sustaining education framework. And they, again, that's where I started to talk about having multi-district programs on race, equity, mental health, and wellness, initiatives that students come up with and lead, student-centered instruction and student leadership opportunities. And then, again, I would encourage people to look through the PowerPoints because there's a whole lot of research material and much more detail, obviously, than what I'm giving. And finally, they had another general session on school discipline reform, where they talked about restorative practices. And I'm sitting there saying, I was just feeling, so proud of our district. And in fact, I talked to some of the people from other school districts that I, encountered and had conversations with, and they were just really, really impressed with what we had accomplished already, and really wanted to find out more about what we had done. And so Michelle there agreed for me to give them her contact information so they could reach out to her, because people were really, I think, energized by the whole concept of restorative practices, and were just really, kind of nervous about how to make that transformation. So that was very helpful. Then one other thing, they had some booths where they had some different people, and one that was very interesting to me, and I had spoken to some people who have used it from other districts, is Broadview Federal Credit Union. They had a booth, and they provide educational opportunities for staff and students at all different levels around financial education, financial knowledge, and the cost is free. And so I wanted to just leave that with Nick. Yep. And I think it's something that would be worth investigating, because they give like 90-minute sessions that can really begin to help students on all levels, begin to understand, become financially literate. And I think
Was there a woman at the
no, it was a man.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah, I know somebody, I taught one week
runs this program?
Here's, this doesn't, yeah, this lists all the presenters, I think. Yes, so this is the program, lists all the presenters. And now here's how old fashioned I am. If you want the link, I actually printed up little slips with them. I'm sorry, but that's who I am.
Makes sense to me,
So I
Mark.
can pass it out, or I can just send you an email or text with the link. So you can do it either which way you want.
I'll take one of those.
Okay.
I'm
So
showing
you
my
take
age
one?
on the AI
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
because to me, I'm thinking, isn't this just
Take
a
one.
nice cross-curricular unit between the social studies teacher and the English teacher, and we'll teach kids how to write a history narrative of New York State in the style of Dr. Seuss? What am I learning by getting some computer to do it for me, when I can teach kids how to do it?
No, but they're saying that's what kids can do. They can just go, you tell them to do that, and they're just gonna go and print it out. AI will do it for them.
Yeah, and saying, why do I want to teach my kids how to have AI write like Dr. Seuss for them when I could teach my
No,
kid
you
how
wouldn't
to
wanna
do it?
do that. You wanna teach them, but the kids will then go home and use the ChatGPT-3 to get the answers.
And some of the things they're talking, obviously the thing they're talking about in the AI session was how to make it something that could contribute to education and to
Right.
knowledge and to critical thinking, not replace it.
That's what I
And
want
for instance, they
to
talk
hear
about
going
things like
forward.
flipping the classroom, and things of that nature that can make it an advantage rather than a disadvantage, than a cheating tool or whatever.
Or you take that essay that ChatGPT-3 wrote, and you have the students analyze that essay and give their own personal. So now, this AI can't personalize it, but they can take the answer and then critique it. And
Right.
so that's a way to attack,
Right,
because they're gonna go home and use it.
right.
No two ways about it.
So anyhow, like I said, I strongly encourage that people check out some of these PowerPoints. Not that you should read them carefully and get it, but I think that you'll find some very interesting and meaningful information in them. And I will certainly, from all of you that are modern, I will send you a link so that you can do that if you care to. Okay, so, but I think it was a very worthwhile conference to go to, and I think there was a lot of really helpful information there. I certainly feel like I learned a lot. And I also was very proud of our district because of so many of the things that were being talked about, we're already moving on. And that really is very exciting to me that, here we are, a small district in rural New York, that's up to speed, and ahead of speed.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think, something that we can be proud of. Okay, so I'll move ahead then to approvals. I would ask a motion for a consent agenda.
Motion for consent
Second.
agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so anything on the minutes? Minutes from the reorganizational meeting? Bills? I have a couple of questions, as usual. One is on 63-857, Utica National Insurance Group, $111,000. I don't remember.
That's our
what that is.
insurance for our building, our buses, our liability,
overall
our,
insurance.
for the
What?
whole year.
It's our overall insurance plan.
It's our what?
Our overall insurance plan for our buses and our grounds.
For the
and
building,
students
for our
and our
buses,
buildings.
for
Oh, okay,
liability,
okay.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just didn't.
One-time payment.
It didn't ring a bell to me, but thank
yeah,
you.
we pay that every year.
Okay, then the other question I had to do with the medical reimbursement. And it said that there was $494 for the month of July from 7/1 to 7/31, and I thought that was for 3 months.
It's for 3 months. That's just the title of the report. It's just the July. It
Okay,
just
but
issues in
that is
July.
for 3 months
Yeah.
worth of coverage. Okay, so I was kind of shocked when I saw
No.
1 month, it just blew my mind. Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, budget transfer schedule, anything there? Good, okay, treasurer's report? I don't even look at that anymore hardly. Very frustrating. Okay,
Don't say.
then if it'll get there, come on, oh, wait a minute. I have to get my phone back on here again. Just a moment. Okay, one of the things I'm very happy to report and very grateful for is that the estate of Virginia Holben has given us a bequest of $500,000. And without any preconditions or, any things. And so Dr. Fitzgerald and Leah are going to present to the district suggestions for how we can use this to benefit our district and our students. And I just think it's a surprising and wonderful thing that their state did that. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to publicly say thank you.
Yeah, what we'll do is once we get, like Leah said, once we get the final amounts, finance committee meeting, we'll talk about proposals.
Any questions, comments here? Okay. Approve the combined team, that's adding Oppenheimer and St. Johnsville to the combined varsity swimming and modified swimming team. Surplus, anything there?
Old stuff.
Transportation request. Good. Okay. Then we have a number of different agreements. Jen isn't here to ask about any changes, but I assume these are all continuations of existing ones, but are there any questions
They
on
are.
any of them? Anything? No? Okay. Then we have the bus lease bid approval.
It's just the next process, the bus leases, so we have it
Is
ready.
this, has it gone up much or is it about the same?
No, it's the same as we approved there in the spring.
Okay.
This is just the next part of the process. And all indications, we'll have the buses for the school year. So,
Okay.
Wayne's just waiting for these to get approved.
Until we get electric buses.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then school lunch program renewal. Lunch prices, are they too high, too low?
Same as last year.
Same.
Beat inflation.
Okay. Food service bids, anything there? BOCE substitute list, any questions on that? Do we know any of those people?
Yep.
Quite an extensive list.
I hope they all show up.
Okay, we're good with that? All right, the tax levy, the proposal is 1.64%, which is consistent with what we talked about during the budget formation and also the budget that was approved by the voters in May. Unbalanced resolutions that we agree to exceed the 4% limit. And then the 5 reserve funds to continue them. Any questions on any of those? And then finally, the interest allocation. And that'll just be distributed how?
It has to be distributed among all the reserves.
Okay, so it'll be divided up?
Evenly?
No, not evenly.
No.
Based on the amount, I have a whole sheet
Oh,
that I
okay.
use for it. It's just a lot this year, so I want to do a separate resolution for it.
That's a lot this year.
194,000
I know, I'm very
versus
impressed.
last year 6,400.
Yeah, no, I'm very impressed. I read that.
We've
and I-
never had that much ever.
Yeah, so congratulations, thank you. Okay, seeing no questions, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we can move on to personnel. Again, I would like to ask for a consent agenda for the personnel appointments.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So we'll start with the pre-K teacher from East Hill.
This is the pre-K teacher that we had in the last couple of years through Fullmont. She's fully certified, so great transition. We also have the aide, so it'll be a great transition
for them. So the ones that have been in our program, knowing our demographics in our school, they're both going to be in the same class, the pre-K 3.
Okay, then we have, extend the appointment of the nurse.
Yes, due to our current nurse situation of surgery and extending that, we have to put somebody in place. As you know, we don't have too much of a choice with this position, and we can't rely on substitutes, or we'll be in a little bit of trouble.
And
So-
she's been here and
Correct.
doing well.
She did a great job for us last year, yeah.
Okay, then, there's a resignation of Aaliyah Schaefer as a monitor. Anything there? Okay, D, accepting resignation of Alia Alberico as an art teacher. My question there was, are we in the process of getting a replacement for her?
Just got it today.
We did.
No, we just got.
Oh, we just got this today.
Resignation today.
Okay.
Pursuing her master's degree, the letter, as you can see the letter. Pursuing her master's degree and doesn't feel like she can teach and do the master's degree at the same time. So, big loss. Tough position to fill in 3 weeks.
She did a good job.
She did.
Okay. Sorry to hear that. Okay.
Yes.
Point of monitor.
Big time. Yeah, so to our monitor, we had to fill. Community member.
Accept resignation of Alexis Cronkite.
Somebody who fell ill, and we wish her the best moving forward.
And then the same with Catherine Kwiatkowski.
Got a full-time job in her current part-time job. So.
And we found another driver. Who's this guy, Gary May? That sounds familiar.
Doesn't want to go
Man,
away.
he keeps turning up.
What part of retirement doesn't he get? That's all I have to say.
He only has to work 180 days now.
Okay, and then spring coaches, and have we filled all the positions at this point?
I think we have for the spring, yes.
Any questions on any of these? Okay, and then the fall coaches? Again,
Good
we
veteran
good to
there,
go.
we got somebody new, so good stuff. And we have our own modified volleyball program again, so thank goodness for Sharon. to step
I'm
up.
thrilled. I think she'll do a
Me too.
great job.
I'm glad she's feeling up to it.
Justin's gonna help out with the varsity soccer, which is that combination of 4 playing, so it's somebody from here and 4 playing to make that connection, which is always good.
Okay, and then we have appointed advisors, tennis club, and then 3-star advisors. And one of the things I want to say, just from my own perspective, is I'm just really excited to see some of our new teachers stepping up and coming forward like that. It's really encouraging, and I just want to say thank you to them.
And thank you out there, lady, for doing such really phenomenal job with the last 5 or 7 years.
Not going anywhere, but it's nice to
No,
know
but-
that,
It's nice not to have to do the whole brunt of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we're still here to bounce ideas and whatever. So it's
And you
not
started
just-
something special here, and you got it.
Yeah.
You got it to district level, which is, I'm sure, was your ultimate goal from the
Yeah,
beginning of it. Anyway.
yeah, it's hard, it's a loss, but I'm not going away, but
Yeah.
at least I didn't want it to end. And
Yep.
that's kind of the way Tracy made it, it's like, now somebody will pick it up and learn it while we're still here, instead of trying to do it when nobody's here.
Passing of the torch.
And they're making it their own, which is what Tracy and I did, so
Yeah.
that's great.
Okay, and then finally, creating a position.
The position we talked about the end of last year, the budget season, we were waiting to see what the reimbursement rates would be for the food service. And right now for next year, we're getting an extra $1.18, I think, per meal for lunch that we got last year, and about about 90 cents for breakfast. And if the meals stay exactly the same, meaning if we don't go up or down, that increase is quite extensive and would definitely cover this position. This would help us expand the high school, because right now there's 2 ladies working at the high school, and no matter how many kids you have, 2 people is very tough to cook, clean, serve, do just about everything. And this would help us expand an area also for our students, maybe panini makers, wrap station, something different for the students that we've been talking about for years.
I'm told the panini maker is already here,
Oh,
has
fantastic.
arrived.
So, perfect.
Okay. So
This comes from the school village fund, so all indications are, what a huge difference in those reimbursement rates. Absolutely monstrous, to tell you the truth, so. But the state said they would do that, but I didn't think, Lori, I didn't think it would be that much.
No, that,
We were talking-
it's
we
our
were
best case scenario for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were preliminary talking about it.
Yeah.
We looked probably at about 26, 28 cents, and now it's
Right.
$1
Yeah.
a meal. When you add up all the meals, adds up quick.
Yeah, it could easily put us to 50, 60 grand
Correct. Above.
increase,
Oh, no, it's gonna put us
at least, yeah.
above what we lost,
Mm.
50, 60 grand above.
Yeah,
If we stay just with our current meals.
Mhm.
Now, this is something the state put in because this was their answer to funding schools that were in the CEP program, like fully funding them, as opposed to fully funding every school. So this is a good thing for us, for a school district, or, you know.
And districts received higher funding right after the pandemic. So the 2 school years following the pandemic, the rate of reimbursement was much higher. It was the summer rate, much higher. People were able to continue to have meals be offered for free and everything. And now this current school year, that funding source went back to normal, went back to pre-pandemic levels, and it left a lot of districts with shortfalls because they were unable to keep up with still giving free meals to kids with not having appropriate reimbursement to do it with. So this is the attempt to put that back to the way it was. So it should help a lot of districts for sure.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I don't see any new business. I do have one piece of old business that's not on the agenda, which is just a reminder that Monday at 5:30, we'll be having our board self-evaluation meeting.
Green puffs are in the oven.
And I will bring the pizza that we decided on when we planned the meeting in the first place. Do we have anything for executive session?
One quick thing.
Okay, I would like to ask for a motion to recess into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Dad still up?
Yep.
Dad still up?
Good night, everyone.
Coming to me.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Yep,
Move to go home?
Thank you.
yep,
Okay.
definitely.